Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It's time to talk about her favorite subject.
You.
Yeah, nice try. Henry Cavill.
He's not my favorite subject.
He's your witch daddy.
He's one of them, but he's not my favorite.
He's one of two.
Charlie Cox.
Let's talk.
But you were above all of them.
I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you. You mean more to me than Space Daddy.
Okay.
Yes, I would take you over Space Daddy.
We've come to an understanding.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're going to talk about The Witcher and Henry Cavill's exit, and now the showrunner is actually coming out.
Damage control?
Doing damage control because it's been rumored that Henry Cavill left because he wasn't happy with the direction of the show, that it deviated from the books.
The fans have been complaining for a while now, and I think the viewership has kind of declined because of that.
Yeah, the second season was ass. I mean, I'm just going to say it. The first
Well,
season...
there wasn't as much ass in the second season as the first season either.
But the first season was pretty okay. I'm like, okay, I like where this is going. And then,
I'm sure you did.
And,
Sorry.
And then the second season, I'm like, nah. I'm good. I'm out. And apparently so is Henry Cavill. They're replacing him with a Hemsworth. I can't remember which one. There's so many of them.
Liam?
Liam, I guess they're like the Hansons, but they act. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this, and yeah, there are definitely some problems. I don't think season 4 is gonna be any good. I don't know why they're gonna go through with it, but they are, because watch time. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 282,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about Hollywood. We talk about pop culture, geek culture. We talk about Henry Cavill's ass, Charlie Cox's ass, and how I am an ass.
Know how you should wear this outfit so I could talk about your ass, but you won't. Anyway, the point.
The point is not to talk about my ass. The point is to talk about Henry Cavill, his face and his
Okay, let's just talk about The Witcher.
Let's talk about The Witcher. So before
You're obsessed with his ass.
I'm not the one obsessed.
Well, you're the one talking about it.
Anyway,
you're projecting.
You'd toss a coin on his ass if you had the opportunity. I would. Anyway, let's talk about the reason he supposedly left. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, The Witcher is a thing. It was books. It's a game. It was a series of games. It's a show, which kind of sort of
Henry Cavill was a big fan of.
Yes, which is why he signed up to do it, and then he got into it, and he's like, "Oh my, this is not exactly what I signed up for." Being a big gamer and a big fan of the books. Now, let's back it up a little bit. The showrunner of X-Men '97 kind of started this whole controversy, I believe, about a month ago. He said that he wanted to make sure that the X-Men '97 was an authentic X-Men cartoon.
Right, that if you worked on it, you knew the source material, you're fans of the source material.
Right, and he said that he had a negative experience working on The Witcher. That there were a lot of random changes being made to the show.
They were actively hostile to the source material.
Actively hostile?
I forget his exact wording, but it was something along those lines. He had made the comments. He said here, there were some writers were not or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mocking the source material. It's a recipe for disaster and bad morale. Fandom, as a litmus test, checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. When you come into a franchise that has a massive pre-existing fan base, there are certain expectations.
You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy.
Oh my God, I hope, because I am a huge fan of the original X-Men 90s cartoon, and I hope to God he gets this one right. But
I hope so too.
That's a good sign. For me, that's a good sign. I was worried when the voice actress of Jubilee stepped down because I'm not Asian. I can't play Jubilee anymore. That's a personal decision, I guess. But I also think it's kind of a Disney thing because I know Disney is kind of pushing people out.
Well, my thing is, I think you can make changes to franchises. You can go in different directions, but you have to respect what came before and make it fit into what was there and not just kill everyone.
Yeah.
To promote your own characters or to, assassinate their characters so you can make your character the bestest ever. Star Wars, I'm looking at you. And there's a lot of things you can do. And The Witcher, they were actively, by this person's description, he was there going out, crapping on it and trying to make changes. And we know that they said Henry Cavill had the books out often. And he was like, but wait.
Henry Cavill busts out the Bible and starts quoting verses at them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Contradicting it. So, yeah, they said that this is coming from Kotaku on Halloween. They said that he was very, very upset about it. And this is a Twitter user, Ariel. Henry Cavill has been fighting the showrunners for years, and it looks like he finally gave up. So here's what happened. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, showrunner Lauren S. Hissrich, we're going to talk about Hissrich, revealed that Henry Cavill, who plays Geralt, pushed for The Witcher to have more dialogue so the character would appear more like his novel counterpart. A lot of the notes he was sending to me were about Geralt's dialogue. He could, first of all, say more. Hissrich explained. She then reflected on how season 1 portrayed The Witcher. Everyone came out of the season 1 laughing and loving Geralt's fuming. But Henry was saying that when you read the books and you spend a lot of time in Geralt's head, how can we put that on the page? Basically, can we make The Witcher about The Witcher, please? He said the toughest part for me was finding that balance between the showrunner's vision and my love for the books, and to try to bring that Geralt to the showrunner's vision.
Basically try to show that they're doing it wrong.
Yes. It's about treading a fine line there. It's the showrunner's story, and so it's an adaptation. The tricky bit for me was finding Geralt from the book's place within that and being able to serve both as much as I could. The things I pushed for was not necessarily just more dialogue. It was bringing a more book-accurate Geralt to the screen. Because as I'm sure you know in the books, Geralt is an amateur philosopher. He's an intellectual. He's wise and thoughtful. He's at times morose, morbid, and snarky, but it's important for me to have the character be three-dimensional.
But not important. So he basically just said they didn't know what they were doing and they wanted to make him one-dimensional.
Yes. Actually, all the character development in The Witcher has gone to Yennefer.
That's kind of true.
I mean, it is. It's basically the Yennefer show, which she was an important part of the books, but, you know, they've definitely pushed her front and center, and most of the series, especially season 2, it seemed like it was all about her. You know, it's tricky to do. I was saying earlier because there's a certain vision and there's a certain set storyline and plot. And also, it was about me trying to find Geralt's place within that. All of my asks and requests were along the lines of just being faithful to the source material. And he parted ways with them. And
well, now what else is she saying? Is that all she said?
That's what Henry Cavill said.
Okay,
right?
but what was she saying recently?
Okay, so this 5 hours ago, coming from CBR, Witcher showrunner addresses fan backlash to Henry Cavill's exit in an interview with Tech Radar. Hissrich discussed the negative response from fans, stating it's a big deal for us too, and that's the thing. There's a lot of talk and rumors about, and we fully understand why fans are going there. What I will say is please come back for The Witcher Season 3 so we can continue. Oh, this is interesting. So we can continue to do this.
Cavill's in the 3rd season.
Yeah, but I have to wonder if a Season 4 is contingent on whether or not people turn out for Season 3.
Well, that's
like they have a Hemsworth in the wings if they get Season 4 greenlit, but maybe it's not a done deal. Maybe Netflix will just be like, it's not even worth doing it because Season 3 was such a disaster.
People are going to tune out for a couple of reasons. One, they'll tune out just to make sure it tanks after everything. And they'll probably tune out because Season 2 was just like, eh.
Yeah. Obviously, that Cavill's departure is huge news. But what I don't want to do is this has to stay about Blood Origin, Declan, the cast, the crew. This is their time in the spotlight. Basically,
well, they shouldn't have ruined it then.
Fans come back. Please don't leave.
But I thought she was saying that he was asking for a lot before, and he was kind of being difficult and asking for things and wanting to make it all about him having more dialogue. And now, well, fans maybe are upset, and maybe they're right to be upset. Well, you have one of the writers coming out saying that there's a lot of people working on the show and they hate the source material.
Yeah, they said the backlash is coming at a time when Netflix is trying to expand it into the world of The Witcher. They're trying to MCU it. And we've got, Bo DeMaio coming out, the guy who worked on X-Men, and saying that the writer's room was unpleasant and the people working in the writer's room were unpleasant and they clearly did not understand or care about the source material. Kind of like the vibe I was getting from She-Hulk. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the vibe I'm getting from a lot of people working in the MCU, that they just really don't care.
Star Wars, too.
Star Wars, they don't care.
Lord of the Rings.
I mean, it goes on and on and on. So,
all the things that are failing, basically.
Now, I don't think Shira, yeah, like, hey, this would be great. Let's just toss everything out and just keep the names.
And make them all, identity politic characters.
Yeah, they're all are.
And if you don't like it, it's because you're a bigot.
You're a bigot. So this is The Witcher's Joey Beatty. Is that the guy who plays the minstrel? All right. The Witcher's Joey Beatty assures season 3 adapts the novels in a mad, magical way. That doesn't tell me that's a 1-to-1.
That tells me that doesn't encourage me.
It's done in a mad, magical way. By the time we get to season 3, we're really delving into, for me, some of the best bits of the books. And I think fans of the books will know what's coming, and I hope they know it's been realized in such an incredibly epic and mad, magical way. This tells me that they are really freaking out.
Well, it's been realized, and it's good on us. We changed it and made it mad, magical. But the thing is, the audiences are mad. I don't think they're meaning the same definition of mad.
Yeah. So magical means more Yennefer, right? Lots more Yennefer.
Yeah.
They're in a bit of a pickle, aren't they? Because this is not good to have Henry Cavill basically rage quit The Witcher, and he didn't even have, as I understand it, he did get the one appearance in Black Adam as Superman, but everything that they've been saying is that he doesn't have a contract nailed down at DC to do Superman long term. So he basically just jumped ship without having anything to jump to.
It's likely he's going to have that, but yeah.
It's likely, but
he didn't do it because of Superman. He did it because he got sick of their shit.
Yeah, so they're in full-on panic mode, but you're not hearing a lot of talk about season 4. You're hearing a lot of people associated with The Witcher pleading for people to watch season 3. I don't think that season 4 is guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me, especially when they're like, oh, you need to turn out so we can keep doing this thing. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this, because Netflix, they've canceled shows. They canceled Cowboy Bebop after like 2 or 3 weeks. They're like, it's obviously not going to pull the numbers it needs to pull to justify the expense. And then they might be looking at this like, nobody's going to watch season 3 of The Witcher because they're going to be like, you let Henry Cavill go, and he's obviously not happy about the adaptation. And we've got former writers out there complaining about all the changes.
And the fans aren't happy. The spin-offs, did any of them come out?
I think they did the anime one.
Did anybody watch it? Because to me, I was just like, you're trying to do all these, this World of the Witcher kind of thing. But what I was seeing, I was like, eh.
So this might be a very painful lesson for Netflix. Another painful lesson for Netflix. This is what happens. They let a bunch of their bloggers go. They canceled a bunch of shows that were activist-minded shows. And this might be another lesson for them. Same with He-Man. Same with Masters of the Universe.
No, they gave them another season too.
Well, I think they had a contract to
I think
do 20
so too.
episodes.
I think it was already.
Yeah, because the watch time was not there. People were not, other than the hate watch it, people were not watching this show. Plus, Mattel was co-financing it. But I think they're going to have to be a lot more careful who they put in charge of these adaptations in the future, because the franchise depends on. Look what happened with Cowboy Bebop. Such a big thing for them, and it failed right out of the gate because the fans had their backs up. Now, apparently...
Oh, yeah, because you had people out there running their mouths.
Right. So, and this is the same situation. They were going to basically build a Witcher cinematic universe, a Netflix universe, and have all this Witcher stuff, and right out of the gate, it's dead because Henry Cavill's out there complaining that they deviated from the source material. The fans were not happy with season 2.
I don't think it's just a deviation, because people expect it to be changed somewhat.
It was just shit.
I think it was crap, and I think that it was hostile behind the scenes by people who didn't care, and I'm sure he had run-ins with that.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. This might be a watershed moment. I know the CEO of Netflix actually was praising Elon Musk, and they cut loose a bunch of shit. I think that they're going to have to look at this and be like, look, if we spend the money to get the IP, we have to make sure that we do it justice, or we're going to run into a situation where we could have had The Witcher become the next Game of Thrones, and we fucked it up, and now we have nothing.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't think season 4 is guaranteed. I really don't.
Well, yeah, I think it depends on season 3. So take that as you will.
I'm not watching season 3. I don't give a shit. Season 2 is terrible.
I don't have to watch season 3. I can see Henry Cavill in other ways.
You could.
Or you could just wear the outfit and call it a day.
But you'll be seeing Henry and not me. I want you to see me.
I only see you.
I'm glad to hear it. I put a ring on your finger. Henry didn't do that. He's just playing with his little men. He's painting his little men, and I put a ring on your finger.
We used to paint little men too.
I did. But
I still married you.
You did. You know, I haven't touched Little Men in 20 years. I haven't touched any Little Men in 20 years. I'm going to wrap this up.
Please do.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.